Welcome to our pilot episode here on the Level Up podcast, and Cirque du Soleil is joining us here in the Greensboro Coliseum, the First Horizon Coliseum. Ramarni Levena joining me here. Ramarni, how's it going? How are you enjoying Greensboro so far?
It's amazing. I love it here. I actually did a hike over the weekend, went to the Greensboro Science Museum. It was beautiful, and now we're here, ready to work.
Well, as you can tell, his accent is not from Greensboro, North Carolina. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and what got you into Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, I am from Birmingham in England, same place as the Peaky Blinders. A lot of people recognise that a little bit more. And I used to be a competitive tumbling gymnast. I competed all across the world. I did World Cups, European Championships, World Championships, and I knew I always wanted to do Cirque. And I got reached out to at an event, and I spoke to a casting advisor, finished gymnastics, and a couple of months later I was running away with the circus.
So tell us about the show a little bit. There's all kinds of talents, many different countries, ethnicities, languages that you guys deal with. What's that been like for you since you've gotten started with the show?
I'll tell you, when I first got here, it was a little bit difficult trying to understand everybody. But you know, we have 53 artists here. That's not even including the technical teams and automation and rigging and everybody. So everybody makes the effort to learn small parts of each other's language. Hello, good morning, goodbye. I know goodbye in Chinese. I know a lot of different words in a lot of different languages because we want to communicate. You know, we work together all day, every day. So it's really nice. But when I first got here, it was not so easy, definitely.
So this show that you guys are working on is called OVO.
OVO.
And it's bug-based.
It is, yes.
So I want you to show off your shoes here because I think if you can get them up high enough, a lot of details. I'm not sure how much the camera's going to do it justice.
Okay, so these shoes, maybe this side is a little bit better. These shoes are the cricket shoes. The show, we have the last number in the act, so it's one of the brightest high energy shows, and I think the shoes match perfectly. Every part of this shoe, except the laces, is hand painted. They get hand painted by one of our amazing wardrobe artists, Bea. She does it every single day to make sure we have no scratches and that we're looking the best for the show. I will say these are my favorite shoes in the show. I think they're the most colorful ones, definitely.
So what is a day-to-day like when you're on the show? Talk about, maybe we'll start with the pre-game routine.
Yeah.
What's that look like for you as you guys are here practicing, getting ready for the show now?
Okay, it's funny, I'm actually filming a day in the life today as well.
So a little bit of a plug there as well.
There
you
we
can
go
watch
exactly.
that after you get done watching the
Ramarni
podcast.
Levena, that's exactly what it is. But you know, it changes week by week. Sometimes we're in a different hotel, sometimes we have a pool, sometimes we don't, sometimes we have a really, really big backstage, sometimes we don't, you know, everything is a little bit different. So it's up to each and every artist and technical team to kind of decide what their morning or their afternoon is going to look like before work. For me, I don't like to do too much before I get to work. I usually have pretty early training, so I like to feel well rested. I'll go to the gym, do a little stretch, have breakfast, a few coffees, and just get ready for the day. You know, it's a long evening. We work until the very evening of the night. You know, so it's something that we want to get done and do it very well.
For somebody who's about to come out and watch this show, what should they be most excited to see, do you think?
There's a lot of things to be excited to see. I personally would say the cricket number. Like I said, it's one of the most high energy numbers. We have tumbling, we have trampoline, we have trampo wall. It's we actually have the biggest trampo wall in the whole of Cirque du Soleil. So I think if there's one show you want to see, it's definitely this one. There's a lot of amazing numbers. You know, we have new acts, we have new wardrobe, new costumes, we have new shoes, the new music. Everything is very, very different now. So anything is amazing, but especially the cricket number.
You've traveled all over the world as part of this show, and it sounds like even before that. What have been some of your favorite memories and maybe favorite locations when you look back on your career so far?
Yeah, I will say my first ever international gymnastics competition was in Azerbaijan, and it was incredible. I really, really enjoyed it. It was my first time actually leaving the country. I was 17, I want to say. So that was one that will stick with me for the rest of my life. Since being with Cirque, you know, we toured Europe, we did Croatia, Switzerland, Hungary, all these places that I've never been to before. And then coming to America, we did Boston, we did a lot of the East Coast. I worked in Las Vegas. A lot of really, really cool places, but I think I would pin it down to Las Vegas. I think that's one of the best ones. It's really, really exciting over there.
Now, all these shows are different in their own ways. Obviously, you're with crickets and a lot of big colors, and when you think about this show that you guys do compared to certain other ones, what makes OVO unique?
OVO is unique in a way that's completely different. Like I said, it's a very high energy show. It's Brazilian inspired. OVO itself actually translates to egg in Portuguese, So we have a lot of. It's a very niche kind of show. It's all about bugs. We have no words. Nobody speaks English or any other language in the show. So it's very easy to follow along for adults, for children, for teenagers, for anybody. But yeah, I just think the high energy, it's very vibrant. Like I said, the costumes are very vibrant too. The music, we have a full live band that plays through the whole show. It's just I'm going to say the word again, high energy show for everybody, for sure.
If you weren't doing Cirque du Soleil, where would you be right now?
Oh, that's a good question.
Something you said you've dreamed about throughout your tumbling career.
Honestly, I kind of always knew I would end up with the circus. I think I would do Cirque du Soleil for a very, very long time, but after that, I want to be a real estate agent, if that's anything. Two very different
Well, if anybody
things.
needs to go buy a house, I got your guy
There we
right
go.
here. So even before that, you knew you wanted to be in that, but I can't imagine that just anybody can get to the Cirque du Soleil level. So what was it like, training to get in? What were the audition process like, and how did you end up breaking through onto this big stage?
A lot of my preparation for Cirque du Soleil came from my competitive gymnastics career. Like I said, I used to train over 25 hours a week just on what I do now, tumbling. I didn't branch out into any other circus disciplines. Now I have, but back then I didn't. And I worked very, very hard to get where I was. And one of my goals was actually not to make it to the World Championships, to do the World Championships. It was to go to the World Championships so I could get picked up by the casting advisors that are there and they could see the talent that I have and one day bring me to the show, definitely.
I'd imagine it takes a lot of energy and things like that. Are you a coffee or a tea guy before shows?
Definitely coffee. Before show, in between, in intermission, between shows, I like to get it going, definitely.
Now I'm here on the hockey side of Greensboro with the new Gargoyles team coming here.
Okay.
Players have big pregame superstitions. A lot of guys tie their shoes one right side to left side, or very particular with how they do pregame.
Yeah.
Is that the same with Cirque du Soleil with your partners and stuff around?
For sure. I mean, everybody has their thing. My thing is actually right before the number or right before I run out for my tumbling pass. I used to do the same thing back in gymnastics. I stand there, I have to get all the chalk that I've just put onto my hands off my hands and make myself feeling very prepared. But before the show, we all have a handshake. Maybe you'll see it backstage today. And every single cricket, we go in a line and we handshake each other and we say good luck in a lot of different languages. And it's I wouldn't say a superstition, but it's something that we like to do to feel like a team when we get on stage,
What have been some of the biggest things you've learned over your time with Cirque du Soleil, dealing with so many, different people from all over the country? What are the biggest takeaways that you've gotten that maybe you never would have thought you would have learned from other people?
You know what I would say, to keep it acrobatic, at least, I would say you can learn anything from anyone here. We have some Chinese girls here that do the foot juggling number that also know how to do Diabolo, foot juggling, of course. We have Ernesto, he has a straps number and he teaches rope backstage. We have trampoline specialists, we have tumbling specialists. So you can really learn whatever it is that you want to learn and whatever kind of pulls to you. And then at some point you kind of build a passion for it, which I have now with rope. So yeah, everybody is very collaborative here. Everybody wants to help each other learn, even if it's not for a number in the show, just to do something also. Our weeks are very consistent. We have our days off and we have the show. So it's nice to switch it up a little bit in between, I would say.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that are watching at home that are aspiring tumblers, dancers, whatever it may be. If you had life advice for them and somebody aspiring to be in a position that you have, what would be something that you want them to know if you could go back 10 years and listen to yourself now?
I would say dream big. Honestly, it sounds very short and simple, but it's a fact. You have to dream as big as you want to go, even if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, as some would say. You're working towards, you're constantly working. Even if you're not in the gym every day and training, you're thinking about what you're doing and you're writing your training plans, It's you have to dream as big as you want to go, and if no matter how hard you work, at some point you're going to get there. So I would say dream big and be persistent as well. You know, not everybody gets to make it to a stage like this, and everybody is in the tumbling world anyway. We're all very, very talented. That's how we make it to the top of the tumbling world. But you have to set yourself apart from the other tumblers to not just tumbling, dancing and acrobatics and singing, and you have to really be persistent and fight for what you want. And if that's Cirque du Soleil, you have to fight for it.
Well, Ramarni and his big dreams will be on showcase in Greensboro this
Yes.
weekend. The crickets, the other bugs, and his counterparts are all dreaming big out here. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.